First topic of the paper 1 is meaning, scope and development of anthropology. Meaning, scope and development of anthropology. Meaning, scope and development of anthropology. Here I am telling you a technique. I am telling you a technique. You just better, if you follow it, that will be better. If you follow it, that will be better. In the syllabus part, you read the syllabus. You read the syllabus. Meaning, scope and development of anthropology. You have to know now meaning is one part, scope is one part, development means another part. You should know, means you have to identify that meaning is different, scope is different, development is different. For meaning you should have some notes. For scope you should have some notes, for scope you should have one notes, and for development you should have some notes. Don't take it for granted, meaning, scope and development of anthropology, no. Examiner will be asking questions in like this. Now anthropology is the study of man, right? History, what we study about man? Yes. Psychology? Yes. So there are other disciplines also which deal with man. Why anthropology? Now the scope of anthropology is broader compared to the other disciplines. The scope of anthropology is broader. So examiner will be asking you, he will be framing a question that the scope of anthropology is broader. Discuss. The scope of anthropology is broader compared to the other disciplines. Discuss. So you should have to identify what exactly is the scope. Yes or no? Then only you can answer any question. Questions may be direct. Questions may be relative. Relative to the other disciplines, it is broader. It's not that this subject is ultimate. Yes or no? With respect to the other disciplines and relative to the other disciplines, it is broader. How? Yes or no? So you have to think like this. Not just going through the scope of anthropology is broader, it will be studying the people irrespective of the times and region, so it is very broad. It's not simple, it's not that simple. So you have to identify the core aspect, the crux. Then only it will be easy for you. Easy in the sense, you can write a better answer, a good answer in the examination. Just peripheral understanding, a scope of anthropology is broader because it will be studying the people of different regions, different times, so it is broader. That is just peripheral understanding. That will not work in the present scenario. So each and every line of the syllabus matters, especially with respect to the basic aspects. Meaning of anthropology is the basic thing. Scope of anthropology is also a basic thing that is expected to be known. Yes or no? An anthropology student, so an anthropology teacher, that is in your case the UPSC examiner, doesn't he expect you to know the basics of anthropology or the scope of anthropology? Yes? Yes. Will he ask that question directly, what is the scope of anthropology, mister? No. He will try to correlate it, means how exactly have you understood the scope? not just a peripheral understanding. Yes or no? Be prepared mentally like this. Mentally, be prepared like this. The questions are nowadays like that. I wrote this exam some decade back, 12 or 13 years back. Then the pattern was different. Questions used to be direct. Questions used to be direct. Now it has completely changed. The questioning pattern has changed. Because the competition is increasing, the number of aspirants are increasing year on year. UPSC is expecting, try to, pick up the cream. Yes or no? Now you might have seen the quality of the preliminary papers. Quality of the preliminary papers. Yes or no? Are they different? First of all, are they tough? Are they tough? Why, madam? Are they asking anything out of syllabus? Pattern. Pattern मतलब UPSC पैटर्न जो है ऐसा दे रहे हैं, अच्छा UPSC आप ऐसा दे रहे हैं, आपको क्रैक करेंगे. UPSC does not want this. That's why no pattern. Why should you follow a pattern? You should understand the core. You understand the core, not the pattern. If you understand the core, whatever may be the question, you can be flexible enough. You can be versatile enough. Yes or no? But if you restrict to a particular pattern, things will not work, madam. That is what is happening now in the market. Because I have experienced, they are not concerned with the core elements of the subject. Core को छोड़ के they are focusing on the peripheries. इसको छोड़ दे रहे. They are identifying the peripheries pattern, clockwise or anti-clockwise. अरे पैटर्न को छोड़ो यार, पहले कोर को आइडेंटिफाई करो, उस पर ध्यान दो. If you are thorough with the core, whatever may be the pattern, I'll just tell you. See, this is the core. This is a pattern. This is another pattern. There may be another pattern. Another pattern. Why are you worried about the pattern? First of all, this should be strong. First of all, this should be strong. If you are strong with this part, whatever may be the pattern, you can hold it. Yes or no? You have to hold the pattern. Holding means you should be in a position to attempt it. In this case, it is just holding. So if this is not strong, just identifying the pattern, it will be a futile effort. It will be a failure. Yes or no? Smart work is needed, but over smartness will not work in the present pattern. In the present pattern, because there are lakhs of aspirants. When UPSC is having lot of choice, it wants the best. It wants the best. Now, the question here is it tough? Paper, is it tough? Are they asking out of syllabus? No. Because you people are following the pattern. Examiner is focusing on the core. Is it out of syllabus? Are the questions from Indian history? Is it from Chinese history or Japanese history? Indian history. Yes or no? It's not deviant. It's not deviant. So don't restrict yourselves to a particular pattern. A पूछेंगे on the peripheral elements. Rather focus on the core, the crux. Any paper, be it GS or your optional. And in your case, the optional part you have to be thorough with the core, the basic understanding, the basics, the fundamentals. Amar, then only things will work in your favor, or else you will disappoint. I am telling you openly. I will not sugarcoat. I am a bitter pill for cure. I am very blunt. I don't sugarcoat. I don't sugarcoat. What is the need for sugarcoating? Okay. So, with respect to your syllabus also, focus on the core. Identify the crux. Scope means not just reading some one page. Identify how it is scope. What exactly is this? Spend some time. Think about it. Then you will perfectly understand the scope, or whatever it may be, or the meaning, the scope, or the development. So your orientation, the way you read this, the subject, assimilate the subject, should change. No sir, we are following the same pattern. Well, good, go ahead. Don't focus on the peripheries, important areas. UPSC is going to deceive you, my dear. That is going to happen. That has already happened. 2023, students were literally weeping out of the examination. UPSC is so harsh towards us. It's not harsh. You people are selective. That's why it is appearing to be harsh. Okay. Now, what is anthropology? What is anthropology? Simple. Anthropos means man, logos means study. Anthropology. Anthropos means man, logos means study. Study of man. That's the meaning. That's the meaning. Simple. That's the meaning, very simple. Can they give a question on meaning of anthropology? 150 words. Is it possible to frame? Charu? A question on meaning. On meaning of anthropology, is it possible to frame a question? 150 words? Minimum is 150 words, 10 marker. Can you write 150 words on meaning of anthropology? Is it possible to write? Just the meaning. Literal sense, etymological meaning. No, but there won't be a question on meaning. Scope? Like that you have to identify. Like that you have to identify. Means इसमें 150 words का कुछ matter है, 250 words का है कुछ, नहीं तो 350 words का है. Accordingly, you have to think इसमें से कितने तक दे सकते हैं, 20 मार्क तक दे सकते हैं, नहीं तो 15 मार्कर दे सकते हैं, नहीं तो 10 मार्कर दे सकते हैं. And be prepared with that content. Means we have to prepare the content in such a way. Is it having the potential for 20 marks? Or 15 marks? Or 10 marks? Identify it. This is called as smart work. This is called as smart work. Identify it, prepare the notes accordingly. Prepare notes accordingly. Okay? Now, next is the scope of anthropology. Next is the scope of anthropology. Scope of anthropology. Scope. What's your scope as a district collector? Means you have certain jurisdiction. Yes or no? So the subject of anthropology, what is its scope? Limited, unlimited, or broad enough? The scope of anthropology is broader. Broad means many aspects, many things. How come, sir? How come? The scope of anthropology is broader because it is concerned with both, the scope is broader both geographically and historically. The scope is broader both geographically and historically. Geographically it is broader. Historically also it is broader. Geographically it is broader. Implies it will be anthropology is study of man. Is concerned about man. Okay. Now, since it is concerned about man, wherever man is living now, living presently, geographical areas where man is living now, it can be India, Canada, Antarctica, Australia, New Zealand, Saudi Arabia, China, North Pole, South Pole, whatever it may be, wherever man is living, anthropology is concerned with. Wherever man have lived, man has lived. Man lived. Lived in the sense, he lived then, not living now. Man lived. My ancestors lived in some so and so, so and so. I am living in. So my ancestors, are they with me or in that place? That place. Yes or no? Man lived. Man lived. Where is he now? Fossil. Yes or no? There might be certain areas which might have, there might be some disturbance like earthquake. Yes or no? After earthquake, they enter below the surface of the earth. They are fossilized. But that area appears to be a plain area for us. But under a few feet, some 20 or 30 feet, we can find the fossils. Have you got it? So that the geographical areas where man is living and the geographical areas where man have lived is the concern of anthropology. Yes or no? So it's not just with the living man but also the extinct man or the fossil man. That is broader in scope geographically. That is broader in scope geographically. Broader in scope historically. Historically means the time scale. Historically means the time scale. Anthropology is study of man. I am man. You are a man. You also. Woman means man, Homo sapien. So it's studying concerned only about you, me. Because we are in the present time scale. Presently we are living. So anthropology is concerned only about us? No. Because the scope is broader geographically and historically. Okay. Anthropology as a discipline will be studying the antiquities of man from millions of years. Not just the present man. Yes or no? When man started living on planet Earth, 5,000 years, 10,000 years, 20,000? Chalo, mante 50,000 final. Final? No. Millions of years. Millions of years. So anthropology as a discipline, it will be studying about the man in the geological time scale of millions of years. Not only about the man, not only about the man, the near relatives of man, the primates. Yes or no? Geological time scale is broad enough, is wide, and the regions, what is geographical regions, what it is being covered, they are also very wide. So it is having lot of scope. Then is it then having lot of scope or not? Yes or no? That's why the scope is broad. Got it? Got it? So anthropology is concerned explicitly and directly with all varieties of people throughout the world, not just to the area, limited areas. It is also interested in people of all the periods. Okay? You can just note it down. Anthropology is concerned explicitly and directly. Anthropology is concerned explicitly and directly with all varieties of people throughout the world. With all varieties of people throughout the world. Comma, it's not restricted to a limited geographical area. Next line. It is interested in people of all periods. It is also interested in people of all the periods, full stop. Beginning with the immediate ancestors of humans. Beginning with the immediate ancestors of humans. Beginning with the immediate ancestors of humans who lived a few millions of years ago, comma, anthropology traces the development of humans. Anthropology traces the development of humans until the present. Until the present. Until the present. Full stop and continue. Every part of the world that has ever contained a human population is of interest to anthropologists. Okay. So geographically it is broader, both geographically and historical. Yes? Did you understand the lines what I have dictated? Yes. I am old school. I dictate, you can have running notes. Wherever it is required, that has to be emphasized, I dictate the notes. I don't give PDFs. I'll make you to write. If you write, it will be yours only. What you have written, for you or for everyone? For you, and you have written it with your hand. You get connected, you will have certain link, connections. PDF, everyone same. What is so special? And one more thing is, why I make you to write, because giving PDF, the same thing I can ask someone to type and give PDF. दो दिन की बात है. Why I make you to write is, even though it is time consuming for me, because you'll have that practice of writing. Is this descriptive or objective? Mains examination. Descriptive. So you have to write. Yes or no? ठीक है. So बस इतना ही. It is having geographically, it is wide enough. Historically, it is wide enough. बस इसमें खासियत क्या है? What is so special? History also it studies. Yes or no? We have prehistory, proto-history, history, there is the written sources. Yes or no? What is so special about anthropology? History, we have prehistory also, where we don't have written sources. Yes or no? The Stone Ages, the Paleolithic, Mesolithic, Neolithic man, prehistory. What is so special about anthropology? It's about the living history. I told you the scope. Millions of years. History also millions of years. Yes, madam. Evolution of man.
It is a more holistic concept.
Exactly. Exactly. The treatment is different. The approach is different. The treatment is different. The approach is different. The approach, what we follow in anthropology, is different from other disciplines. The approach what we follow in anthropology is called as holistic approach. What is holistic? Holistic means it is having multi dimensions or multifaceted. What's that? Holistic approach or multifaceted approach. Holistic approach or a multifaceted approach. Sir, what is the treatment of anthropologists? Means how exactly this holistic approach is working? What exactly they do under this holistic approach? Basically, anthropology, it describes people. Yes or no? It describes about people. Whenever it is describing any group of people, it has taken up a group of people. Maybe a caste, a tribe, or a tribe, or any ethnic group. So when it takes a group for discussion, or when it is describing about a particular group, it is describing about a particular group of people. It will be looking at that people in a multifaceted way. Multifaceted means different dimensions. The thing is, first of all, an anthropology might discuss the history of an area where they are living in. When you are describing about a group of people, anthropologists may be discussing the history of that area. History of that area. Means which different social groups have been living, have they been replaced by another group? Yes or no? He will be describing, anthropologists will be describing, first of all, the history of the area. And they describe the physical environment. They discuss the physical environment. They may discuss the organization of the family. They may discuss the organization of family, how their family organization is. First history, then physical environment, what type of environment they are living, what type of a family structure they have, and they may also discuss certain general features like language, settlement patterns, they discuss about the general features like language, settlement pattern, political system, economic system, religion, arts, political system, economic system, religion, arts, and so on and so forth. They may discuss the history of the area. They may discuss the history of the area. They discuss the physical environment. They may discuss the organization of the family. They may discuss certain general characteristics like language, the settlement pattern, the political system, the economic system, the religious aspect, the arts, crafts, etc., etc., etc. History as a discipline may not discuss all these aspects. Even though it is discussing, if at all, if any discipline discuss, they will not discuss it. मतलब anthropology ऐसा discipline है, it will be describing these aspects individually. This will be describing these aspects individually. Means individually they describe the history of that area. Individually they describe about the physical environment or organization of the family. Individually they describe about all these elements. And the most important part is they try to connect these things. Because physical environment, based on the physical environment, there will be settlement patterns. Yes or no? Based on the physical environment, there will be the economic system. Based on the family organization, there will be economic system. So, in addition to individually describing each and every aspect, they try to understand the connections. They try to understand the connections. That is the hallmark of anthropology. If you identify the connections, what happens? You will understand that particular system in a better way. Why this economic system is like this? Why pastoralism? Why agriculture? Based on settlement pattern, you can identify the economic subsistence. If they are at a settled place, one place, do they follow agriculture or cattle rearing? Agriculture. Mean just not describing. This is the settlement pattern, this is the political system, this is the economic system. Why? Why such political system? Why? Why such economic system? Why such settlement patterns? Why particular marriage practice? Monogamy or polygamy, which is better? Depends upon their condition. In your case, you are telling which is better, means monogamy. Why? Because we have almost the same sex ratio. Almost the same. Yes or no? We cannot go for polygamy. Yes or no? What should the family size? Small or large? Now in India. Why? Small family, cute family. Hum do, apne do. Why? गाँव में? गाँव में भी आजकल स्मॉल फैमिली ही प्रेफर कर रहे हैं. इससे पहले हमारा दादा का जनरेशन, परदादा का जनरेशन में फैमिली साइज स्मॉल और बिग? अरे वी आर नॉट फॉलोइंग और व्हाट इज दैट दादा's practice. Why large family size then? Why small family size now?
Because earlier they used to consider more children as assets.
Yes, madam.
Because earlier they used to consider more children as assets.
More children as assets earlier they used to consider. Why?
Because they used to work in fields.
Yes. Now they are working in fields or companies? In companies. Because in agricultural society, there is need for more manpower. Yes or no? 100 years back, it was completely manual labor. Now, थोड़ा बहुत टेक्नोलॉजी आ गया, थोड़ा बहुत टेक्नोलॉजी आ गया, इतना मैन पावर का जरूरत नहीं है. We don't need much manpower. Yes or no? So that excess manpower we are shifting to the agriculture, service sector and industry sector. Yes or no? Sir, why to what? Why children should be born and why they should be shifted? Yes or no? So your family size is based on the economic organization what you are in. Anthropology will be trying to interlink this. Other disciplines will not. Got it? Got it? This is the scope of anthropology. The scope of anthropology is broader, both geographically and historically. Geographically and historically. And the thing is, the holistic approach or the multifaceted approach of anthropology, of its treatment of describing about a group of people, studying the different elements of that people and interlinking the different elements of these people makes a difference. That is how anthropology is different from other disciplines. Holism or the holistic approach is the hallmark of anthropology. Holism or holistic approach is the hallmark of anthropology. So when describing any group of people, they describe the different elements of their culture and they try to interlink the different elements of the culture, why they are like this. What exactly are the interconnections will be identified by the holistic approach of anthropology. Yes or no? Yes or no? Anthropology is the most objective, holistic and scientific study of man. There was a question in 2021. Anthropology is the most objective, holistic and scientific study of man. Okay. What are you going to write? Means what I have taught now? You. So is it something like what is that? Fundamental rights? List out the fundamental rights? Or describe about the circulatory system? No. It's not factual. It's conceptual. Is it factual or conceptual? The question. The question what I asked you, is it factual or conceptual? Conceptual. So without conceptual clarity, can you write that question? Question is very simple. Anthropology is the most objective, holistic and scientific study of man. Question, is it much complicated? Is it appearing much complicated? No. Question appears to be simple. But write, what are you going to write? Matters. So without conceptual clarity, you cannot. So try to focus on the clarity, conceptual clarity. Try to focus on the conceptual clarity. ठीक है? Ready? What was the last line? Last line, what I discussed, dictated. Next, read on the holistic approach of anthropology. The holistic approach of anthropology. The distinguishing feature of the discipline of anthropology is it's a holistic or multifaceted approach to the study of human beings. to the study of human beings. To the study of human beings. Next, write down. Next point. Anthropological study, or else you can write like this. Anthropologists study not only all varieties of people, but also many aspects of human experience. Many aspects of human experience. Many aspects of a human experience. For example, next line. For example, when describing a group of people, anthropologists might discuss the history of the area where the people live in, the physical environment, the organization of family life, comma, the general features like language, the group settlement patterns, the political systems, economic systems, religion, arts and crafts, dress, and so on. Write down. While next point. While these features might be described, means whatever, the dress, arts, while these features might be described separately by anthropologists, they try to understand the connections between different aspects of physical and social life. A different aspect of physical and social life. ठीक है? Anthropological holistic orientation describes many aspects of human existence, both past and the present. Human existence, comma, both past and present. Got it? So this is about the scope of the anthropology and the holistic approach or the multifaceted approach of anthropology. Got it? ठीक है. The main branches of anthropology. Next we will discuss the fields of anthropology or the main fields of anthropology. Main fields of anthropology. The sociocultural, the biological, the archaeological and the linguistic. 4 branches of anthropology. What are they? Biological, socio-cultural, linguistic and archaeological. Is this thing fine or should I change it to yellow? Hello? Hello. Biological, socio-cultural, linguistic and archaeological. Plus applied anthropology. Actually, frankly speaking, we have only 4 branches. Applied anthropology is something applying this knowledge in the practical field, in solving the day-to-day affairs or day-to-day problems. That is applied anthropology. So, frankly speaking, we have only 4 branches of anthropology: the biological anthropology, the socio-cultural anthropology, linguistic anthropology and archaeological anthropology. Okay. First we shall start biological anthropology. Biological anthropology. What is biological anthropology? Any idea? Biological anthropology. Yes, madam, studying the structural, more of the cell structure, protein synthesis, something like that. Fine. Yourself? Mr. Amar. Same. Genetic level. ठीक है. No. बताओ. Genetic level. Structural level changes. Mutations. Wow. What else? Chromosomal abnormalities, anomalies, ठीक है. Chromosomal abnormalities. What else? Adaptations. Yes. ठीक है. Biological anthropology want to study the hominids? Yes? Yes? Yes or no? Why are you so passive? Confused? Are that is given in your syllabus. So it is. Yes. Use your reasoning skills. Hominid study also. Primates also. Yes or no? Why to study all this? What is the purpose? how man evolved from stages to stages. ठीक है, next.
They are near related to man, primates.
Biological anthropology or physical anthropology seeks to answer two set of questions. Seeks to answer two set of questions. One is the emergence and evolution of man. Biological anthropology or physical anthropology, it aims to answer the two set of questions. One is the emergence of man and evolution of man. It wants to answer when man evolved, how he has evolved over a period of time, the emergence of man and the evolution of man. How man emerged? Did he emerge from monkeys or any other primate? Apes? Amongst the ape, which ape? We try to compare the ape anatomy with the man's anatomy so that we can properly understand the emergence of man. अरे पता रहना चाहिए हमें हम कहाँ से आए. अरे हम तो हमारे पेरेंट्स हैं, उनको वो लोग कहाँ से हैं, उनका पेरेंट्स. ओ लोग जानना चाहिए ना. You have जानकारी, you should know. Yes. First of all, the emergence, how man has emerged and how he has evolved over a period of time. Man evolved. Man evolved. Now we are man. We are man now. First set of question is, we try to seek the answers. So man emergence, man evolution. Now man is in this stage, the stage of you and me. The Homo sapien of 2023. Sophisticated, using a lot of technology, westernized, yo, is the present man. Yes or no? But even in the present man, that is the contemporary populations, there are variations. So biological anthropology also seeks answers for the question why there is a variation among the contemporary populations. Why there is variation among the contemporary populations. So here comes what you have said. You said mutation. Because of mutation or the mutation, there will be variation. Yes or no? You said about chromosomal abnormalities. There will be variation. Yes or no? Adaptation. Variation. The genetic level changes. It may be evolution and it may be variation. Got it? What biological anthropology seeks to know? Biological anthropology wants answers only for two set of questions. That is, emergence and evolution of man, and why and how contemporary populations vary. Why and how contemporary populations vary. Yes or no? So, in order to reconstruct the human evolution, it will be studying the fossils. Yes or no? In order to reconstruct the human evolution, it will be studying the fossils. And for understanding the behavior and evolution, it will be studying our nearest relatives, that is the apes or the primate studies? To understand the behavior. To understand the behavior, we take up primate studies or the primatology. Studying the fossils, that is paleoanthropology. Primate studies or primatology. Primate studies or primatology. And after identifying these primate characteristics, they try to understand the qualities which are distinctly human. Yes or no? We share certain characteristics with the primates, but we have our own distinctive features like bipedalism or erect postures. So, comparing the primates, they try to understand how these features have evolved, when they have evolved. Bipedalism is a distinct feature of humans. Erect posture is distinct. Are primates, all primates having, the other primates, are they having erect posture? No. But the primates are having share certain characteristics with human. So, in this process, in the process of studying of the primates, anthropologists, they try to understand, they try to identify the characteristics which are distinctly human. Not shared by the primates. Distinctly human, our own characteristics, the human characteristics. And they try to understand, the linkages between these characteristics. Yes or no? Yes or no? So, as a part of biological anthropology, we take up studies, the fossil studies, the primate studies, the fossil studies and the primate studies. And the thing is, the second factor is they try to study the human variation, why and how the contemporary human populations vary, how and why the contemporary human populations vary. They try to answer the questions, these variations, are they because of adaptation, or that is it because of the environmental factors or any other factors? Yes or no? And they try to understand the variations in this way. And for this purpose, they use different techniques. The principles and the concepts. They use different techniques, concepts and techniques. Yes or no? Please, silent mode. For this purpose, as a part of the techniques, they will be taking the genetic studies. The population studies, the population biology. They study the genetics. Population studies. The epidemiology, that is the diseases. Okay. They will be studying these aspects to understand the variation. So, for understanding the variation, we will be using different techniques, different concepts from genetics, epidemiology, population studies. All these techniques will be used as a part of biological anthropology. Look at your syllabus of biological anthropology. They will be only these: genetic studies, population studies, epidemiology, fossils, primate studies. Look at your syllabus. Look at your syllabus of biological anthropology. Is it different? Or whatever you have discussed on the board, is it the same? देख लो आप लोग ध्यान से. Got it? This is biological anthropology. Or the physical anthropology. Done? Notes लिख लो. Yes, any doubt? Any one of you? None of you are having doubt. So I am very happy. Right on. Biological or physical anthropology seeks to answer two distinct set of questions. Biological or physical anthropology seeks to answer two distinct set of questions. One, Emergence of man and their later evolution. 1. Emergence of man and later evolution. Emergence of man and later evolution. 2. How and why contemporary human populations. How and why contemporary human populations. How and why contemporary human populations vary. That is human variation. That is human variation. Right. In order to reconstruct the human evolution, fossil studies are undertaken. Fossil studies are undertaken. Next, in reconstructing the past of the humans, paleoanthropologists are interested in behavior and evolution. Paleoanthropologists are interested in the behavior and evolution of our closest relatives, that is the primates. Primates मतलब क्या है? Prosimians, monkeys, apes, all these are primates. You can just write it on brackets. Prosimians, monkeys, apes. Next, from the primate studies, next point, from the primate studies, biological anthropologists try to discover the characteristics that are distinctly human. Next, the second major focus is the variation. The second major focus is the variation. That is why and how human populations vary. They try to seek answers for questions like why some people are taller than others. Does darker skin pigmentation gives a special protection against the tropical sun? Special protection against the tropical sun. How human populations adapt physically to the environmental conditions. To understand these variations, biological anthropologists use concepts and techniques from you can write like this: use principles, concepts and techniques. From other disciplines like human genetics, that is inheritance. What is genetics? Inheritance of traits. You can write in bracket. That is inheritance of traits. Come up, population biology. population biology. What is population biology? Environmental factors and interaction of environment and the people. Environmental factors or environmental effects on population characteristics. Environmental effect on population characteristics. And last one is epidemiology. Third is epidemiology. Epidemiology. Epidemiology is about the diseases. Epidemiology is about the diseases. Epidemiology is about diseases, right? That is why and how certain diseases affect certain populations. Why malaria is more in Africa rather than other countries. It's not about only the mosquitoes. It's about the genetic structure. So it will try to understand, epidemiology try to understand why and how certain populations are affected by certain diseases. How and why certain populations are affected by certain diseases. This is biological anthropology. Okay. So under biological anthropology, we will be taking up the fossil studies, the primate studies for understanding the behavior. Yes or no? So the fossil studies, the primate studies, and the variation. For understanding the variation, we use the techniques from genetics, population biology, and epidemiology. This is biological anthropology or physical anthropology. That's it. Done? Okay. That's it for today.